The COVID-19 pandemic has definitely accelerated the digital transformation. Years-long transition has been compressed into weeks, days even, in order for us to adapt to the new normal. This leaves business owners to either go digital or go dark. Join me, Valerie Tan, as we talk to modern Tao Kes who managed to make their companies thrive amidst a global crisis. We will also get to know tips on what digital tools to use to make your businesses post-pandemic ready. This is Modern Tao Ke TV. Modern Tao Ke TV is brought to you by Globe by Business. Chinoy TV. He witnessed several young Filipino-Chinese entrepreneurs make their names in different industries. A Wharton-educated economic analyst, director at think tank Integrated Development Studies Institute, and the chairman emeritus of the Anvil Business Club. Let's all get to know George C.
First step is not that hard if you are already in a situation where the opportunity is nearby. Philippines is full of opportunities, so we also want to encourage this and let people realize the growth rate and the prospects in the Philippines are so great that we don't really need to look elsewhere for the markets, but we do need to look for technologies and knowledge and systems from everywhere in the world. I attribute my success as an extension, in a way, of my dad's very entrepreneurial bent, because it inspired me to go into business also. But it wasn't always like that in the beginning. I think it's much like many of the younger Chinese today. At that time, I was a little envious of friends who worked in Makati and in the banks when I was asked to work in manufacturing. But after a while, it was interesting. We worked with the regular laborers, with people who are doing junks, people who are engineers. And then later on, when we went into garments, then I had the chance to work with advertising people, models. So the experience was quite wide, and studying in management engineering was very useful for this range of activities. I realized very early on the power of the Chinoy, the Chinese network. Then I developed investors and sources of business there. So for instance, reading from the magazines about how people started business, I came across articles in real estate and also how people dealt in garbage. And so I started looking out for garbage-related raw materials, and my first business was buying waste products from all the factories around us, and then I would resell them to furniture makers. I think might have been difficult if I was working in a bank or elsewhere, in inviting our clients and suppliers to join me in investments, which luckily was successful, and from then on, it rolled on to other things. Then I had the chance to go to Wharton School in the US, and it was a very good education. I was able to use it to expand my business later on. For instance, they taught how you can get financing. That helped me increase my business substantially. Apart from that of the family, I was also able to use it, restructure financing for the company. That helped us diversify into different industries like fast food, garments, other consumer goods, now cosmetic products, and so on. I think the most core of this value is that you have to work hard, and that overcomes problems from systems of government, from circumstances being against you, family problems coming up, almost anything. If you will work hard and be positive and not focus on the negative things, but work at solving them, then you can have a very good life. The pandemic has taught me that life changes so quickly. Just before this pandemic started, we were about to borrow over $1 billion to buy a business, and luckily we didn't. We were about to buy a beach to do a resort, and we didn't. We're not lucky only in the things we achieved, we're lucky in the things that we didn't get into. It teaches you not to wait for things to come. You help create it. If you don't have it, you find someone who has, and then you show that you're trustworthy and you're hardworking, and they will always back you up.
We're going to take a breather. But before that, let's learn how Globe My Business Solutions can help you maximize your business potential. Watch this.
Due to the limited transportation and safety reasons, it prevents our sales team to meet our customers face-to-face. There's no exhibitions where we can promote our products and services. Our service team are not able to go to the customer site and provide on-site support. So we need to be connected. I'm Edward Sokwa, President and CEO of ESPrint Media Incorporated. The key to surviving this pandemic is to be mobile and to be efficient. When I say efficient, it means that you get to do things in a shorter period of time. And mobile means to be flexible. You can do things even though you're not in the office. We can achieve this by being connected and by taking advantage of the technology available in the internet. Stay connected to your team, stay connected with your customers, and to keep on innovating. Currently, our sales team is on a work-from-home basis. They provide their reports via email. They still can update our CRM system. And they meet our customers through various online meeting platforms such as Zoom and Microsoft Teams. They're active on social media and other online selling platforms as well. Let's try other sales approach. We won't know if it will be successful until we try it. ESPrint is now active on webinars. We provide tips on how to take care of your printers, how to maximize your equipment. And we also provide maintenance on how to prolong the use of your printing and other finishing equipments.
Ngunit kahit anong mangyari, ang pag-ibig sana'y maghari. Sapat na mahal mo ang kasama mo, tuloy na tuloy pa rin ang Pasko. Ngunit kahit anong mangyari, ang pag-ibig sana'y maghari. Sapat na mahal mo ang kasama mo, tuloy na tuloy pa rin ang Pasko. Tuloy na tuloy pa rin ang Pasko.
This Christmas, let's support local SMEs.
Most successful companies today are family-run businesses. George C. shared with us what he observed with the different generations of Tao Kes in the Anvil Business Club.
It started out as just a barkada eating club and talking about what we want to do next and inviting other people who are interested. But apparently, it turns out that there's a very wide group of young Chinoy business people who want the same thing. So it just grew on itself. And a little strategy there, we mixed girls with boys, which is unusual for Chinese organizations at the time. And then we put a lot of fun, so it's not too serious. We had a lot of social activities. We traveled out together. So because the culture is that the people are willing to work together and they're responsible, they know how to do logistics, how to organize things, how to finance things. So when we had the members join, they willingly contributed their efforts. So it wasn't very hard to get activities going and recruiting more people. Unlike in the earlier years, the people's character is changing so much. So we have to redevelop, re-innovate the club each time in terms of the types of topics, the types of instruments that we use and the activities that they have. Especially in this pandemic, we had a lot of charitable projects. Anvil itself was able to get donations, charities from both local Chinoys and China people, nearly 30 million worth. And we also worked with the Federation of Filipino Chinese Chambers and other chambers of commerce, and we help distribute goods all throughout the country and in dozens of hospitals and municipalities. Meanwhile, we have, of course, the Zoom meeting, so it allows us to internationalize. We want to thank Globe My Business for sponsoring many of the activities for the year. They are helping us introduce technologies, orienting our members on particular apps that the members have begun to realize, even on their own, that is very helpful. In terms of operations, it becomes far more efficient. So what we're doing also is to try to convince the government and agencies to adopt more technologies. We're also trying to push everyone to do technology, one of which is to go into digital transactions with the use of GCash. So that's been very helpful. I'm sure Globe My Business knows that everyone has so many more transactions now. There are some basics that is the same throughout the generations. You have to have the desire. Everyone dreams about being successful. Success doesn't get you everything, but success takes away some of your problems and creates new ones. What it takes is you have the desire, but the desire needs to become a drive, which means you have to work at it. Otherwise, it's just a dream. So when you have the drive, then you have to create the circumstances that allow you to succeed. That means you have to have a team, an ecosystem, the financing. And some people would say, well, I don't have it. My parents are poor, we don't have a business, and so on. But Anvil and the Chinese culture, why it's valuable, is it teaches you not to wait for things to come. You help create it. If you don't have it, you find someone who has, and then you show that you're trustworthy and you're hardworking, and they will always back you up. The more you're able to realize your visions and what you want, then the better life you might have, but not necessarily because your directions might be wrong. Part of it is being able to listen to the market, how to listen to people who are wiser and more experienced than you, and then create your own combination. You don't have to make the mistakes that other people have made before. The older person with experience and a track record of success probably knows more than you, so you better listen. Go look for these people and immerse your time with them a little more than you immerse time with just the people you enjoy. Both in the club and in our relationships with outside, even with people we might have rivalries or disputes with, we can always work together. And we are all part of the links of a chain, and we all have to do our part. So we encourage everyone to do their part. You complain, you ask other people to improve, but you can learn and improve yourself. I am George C. 我是李栋梁, Chairman Emeritus of Anvil Business Club. I'm a modern Tao Ke.
We're going to take a quick break. But before that, let's get to know the products of Globe My Business and why SMEs are switching to their digital solutions.
At first days of the quarantine, we almost had no sales. But after a week, we eventually gained customers when they discovered that we were one of the few restaurants that were open during that period. And surprisingly, it turned out that we had the biggest sales the company that ever had for the past 3 years. My name is Ronnie Di Maculangan. I'm the operations manager for Catarex Corporation. Well, Catarex Corporation is a franchise owner of the Tassamia coffee shops in Batangas City. My tips on connecting with the customers and your team, especially during this kind of situation, is to maintain good internet service. There are a lot of platforms available for everyone, but what we used during the pandemic and we are using until now is what is common for everybody. I discovered Amber solution before the lockdown happened. One of employees of Globe offered us line connections for internet and phone. And apparently, Globe My Business also offers the Amber solution, which is a platform that can be used to send text messages in bulk. The Amber solution gave us more leverage to market our place, our store, because the services that it offers is really affordable.
Modern Tao Ke TV is brought to you by Gift Local. Marco Polo Ortigas, Manila. BA Securities. Manila Bulletin. Arc Interiors and Events. The global health crisis took a hard blow on the fashion industry. Outlets of several brands filed bankruptcies, while others closed their brick-and-mortar locations. But with every crisis comes an opportunity. Here to tell us more is Katrina Ong. She's the owner of Flutter Statement Jewelry and one of the members of the Fashion Accessories Makers of the Philippines, or FAMPH. Hi, Katrina. Very nice to meet you.
Hello, Valerie. It's nice to meet you too.
So can you tell us briefly how Flutter Statement Jewelry started?
So, well, I started making jewelry and I established my brand, which is Tao Ke Jewelry, in 2012. So we started with making statement with necklaces, which we sold in bazaars and in Facebook, because bazaars were at the peak during those times. And then eventually transitioned into making body jewelries, body vests, body chains, body belts, shoulder jewelries, and then eventually we transitioned into bigger statement pieces like cape legs and then embellishments for gowns. So I joined FAMPH in June 2020. So just to give you a little background of FAMPH. So FAMPH stands for Fashion Accessories Makers of the Philippines, and it's a non-stock, non-profit organization that brings together established brands and designers. It was founded in May 2020 and it's spearheaded by Philippine designers in the accessories category. So the idea is really to come together and establish our relevance in this time of pandemic. So the core of our movement is really to showcase and promote Filipino craftsmanship, because Filipino craftsmanship is the extension of our history, of our heritage, and of the ongoing evolution of our culture. So right now, we are a total of 48 brands and counting. We are affiliating with organizations like the Philippine Fashion Coalition, Cebu Fame, and also collaborating with Sided and DTI, and also grow my business and other government agencies.
What was it like starting with FAMPH?
Well, at first, when I started at FAMPH, I found it hard to be comfortable because I didn't know much people. I wasn't, and everyone else seems to know each other already during that time. But eventually, as I got to talk to more and more people, it became easier to join the activities, and also it was fun and exciting since then.
What are the philosophies of the association that helped you with your business?
The establishing FAMPH instilled a sense of hope to the hearts of the members. It's really more like for now, many of the brands are really impacted with the cancellation of trade shows and the closure of brick and mortar boutiques. So the philosophy of FAMPH is really to have a sense of oneness, like a togetherness, so that we can rely on each other for inspiration, for guidance, and also for expert advice that we can share with each other during the pandemic.
During this pandemic, what was the biggest or toughest challenge that you encountered, and how did being a member of FAMPH help you get through it?
The toughest challenge I've had is really what is happening right now, which is the pandemic. I mean, the pandemic hit us really hard. I mean, livestock, business operations were put to a halt. When I joined FAMPH, it really helped me a lot, because inside FAMPH, there are actually a lot of selling opportunities that were shared by other members of the organization. Plus, we also have other projects like the virtual trunk shows, which just happened like last September, and I joined the last one. It's good for brand visibility. And also, we also have a weekly e-learning webinars, which updates us with the latest in marketing and digital strategies.
I like that you mentioned that the association is giving you hope, and hope is what we need most right now. So all right, we will learn more from Katrina and Flutter Statement Jewelry when we come back after the break. But before that, here's something interesting. We can now get medical advice through the phone. It's called telehealth, and companies are availing the service to take care of their workers. Watch this.
Even before the pandemic, call center work is really tough work. It's really physically demanding and strenuous to be on the phone for 8 hours. And to add to that, night shift work. My name is Mark Escueta. I'm the founder and president of East West BPO. We are a contact center and a business processing outsourcing company. Okay, first of all, we want to make sure that they're healthy because they are our asset and they are our capital, and we want to make sure that they are provided health services. For example, we have our HMO in place. We provide them vitamins and supplements as a free incentive. But we've added certain things along the way, especially during this pandemic, like Consulta MD, which is a digital health service which really helped our employees be able to monitor their health and to be able to ask questions when they need to without physically going out to a clinic or a doctor. Number two, we want to make sure that they're recognized and rewarded for their work. We do that every day and every week and every month, so it's a constant thing in our office.
Modern Tao Ke TV is brought to you by Gift Local, Marco Polo Ortigas, Manila, BA Securities, Manila Bulletin, Arc Interiors and Events. Welcome back! Still with us is Flutter Statement Jewelry's Katrina Ong. Let's now talk about the current global crisis. How do you think the fashion accessory industry can bounce back even slowly after this pandemic?
Well, first, we really have to fix our digital presence. I think it's very important to shift your business now to online. Meaning, start selling online and engage and join all online platforms that you can. That's one. And then the second one is since for accessories, it's very common for us to rely on B2B, which is business to business selling. So I think it's important to shift our focus now from B2B to B2C, which is business to consumer selling. And third, I think collaboration, like strengthening collaborations is also important. So that's why we made several collaborations, as aforementioned a while ago.
Some people see fashion or accessories as a luxury instead of a necessity, most especially now. So how do you adapt and thrive in a new world with the COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, I think it's really about going digital and also taking really joining all the selling opportunities that come with.
And you've been in the business for 8 years already. So any key lessons that you've learned along the way?
What I've learned in the fashion accessories sector in the fashion industry is that you learn to grow your business and your brand. You really grow as a brand if there are a lot of other designers and brands who are growing and thriving with you. Because the more of us in the industry, the hotter and trendier accessories become. It's really not about competing with other brands. I think my advice is not to compete with other brands because the more brands there are, the more festive and more fun the market would be. And then I think if the industry grows, the more brands in the industry grows, then you also grow, your brand also grows. So I think just focus really on yourself and your uniqueness.
Thank you very much for talking to us, Katrina, and may your business and FamPH thrive and flourish during this time. But before we go, here are some tips on how to make your business crisis-proof.
The pandemic shook up the retail industry, including us in the digital business. Manpower was a big challenge to us as we lost almost 90% of our workforce because there was no transportation at that time. Our grocery shoppers weren't able to go to work, while outriders are worried about their health and safety. Thankfully, we were able to put a new set of frontliners whom also lost their jobs during the lockdown. Hi, I am Mike Lim, and I'm one of the owners co-founders, and the current CEO of Pushcart.ph. Pushcart.ph is an online grocery delivery services company. It's a tech startup that bridges between commerce and logistics, as we do both the selling and the fulfillment of our clients' orders. The company began to offer services way back in 2017 when we launched our website. Well, first, we have a website which you can visit at www.pushcart.ph. And we also have mobile apps which you can download in Google Play Store and Apple App Store. For marketing, we use a variety of tools in order to boost our online presence, while for our operations, we use our custom-built app for our grocers and riders to fulfill their duties. But what's more crucial to us is data and communications. For that, we use Globe My Business for our data and internet connectivity. We also use it to communicate to our clients. You need to find the right people. The pandemic was a battleground, and you need to find the people who can grit it out with you, especially when the times are tough. Next is being open and being agile through technology. Don't just sit back in your comfort zone. Always find ways to improve and optimize your business operations using technology. The pandemic was a wake-up call for everyone, and it showed us the importance of adapting into the digital technology. Third is resilience. Times are tough, but it doesn't mean that it's the end. Use the time to rethink, replan, and rehash your business, and always try to find ways to come back much stronger and much faster.
During ECQ, most of our sales are more on the delivery side, so it's really very important that we invest in an online platform. Hi, I'm Stan Tanchan. I'm the CEO of Chubi Chubi Flavors Corporation. For Chubi Chubi, what we did is we put an online store through our website at chubichubi.com, but we also did some digital marketing through Facebook. We also marketing through Viber groups. That's how digital payment comes in to be able for customers to pay us. As a retailer, as a restaurant, that the more modes of payment we can accept other than credit card and cash, then it will be more advantageous for us. We use GCash for online payments. For online selling, it helps because we are assured that we get paid, and also on the side of our customers, they are also sure that their cash is safe, that it's not going to get hacked. And it's quite convenient, especially right now in Cebu, where dine-in is already allowed. It's also a more clean, more sanitary way of paying because you don't have to handle the cash.
Sometimes a crisis is an opportunity riding on a dangerous wind. Taokes, you better gear up and make use of what you learned today so that you can get through this challenging time, so that you can also share your own success story. I'm Valerie Tan, washer Chen Yuyin. Join me in another episode of Modern Tauke, brought to you by Globe My Business and Chinoy TV. Thank you for watching.